The current war arc in My Hero Academia has been insane. Horikoshi is not missing at all. It feels like every chapter we're getting another massive reveal, and I know you've all been loving it just as much as we have. Your excitement and thoughts in the comments haven't gone unnoticed, and I'm confident with the arc seemingly wrapping up now, the excitement will only increase. Especially with what we have to talk to you guys about today, Shirakumo's return. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Plot Armor to never miss an upload and turn on notifications. We upload almost daily and would love to have you join in on our discussions. With that said, let's get into this. Now, we've covered in extensive detail the backstory of Shirakumo and Aizawa in an origin video earlier this year. I'm sure many of you have seen the tragic story, considering it now sits at over 1 million views, but if you haven't, I highly suggest you watch that video after this one. We went the extra mile on that one to give you guys the best experience possible, and your support on it was incredible. For those unfamiliar or struggling to remember the details, Shirakumo was a student at UA with Class 1A teacher Aizawa and Present Mike. Shirakumo's quirk, Cloud, allowed him to generate clouds and even ride on them like a Nimbus in Dragon Ball. His personality was very outgoing, and he was essentially the one that helped Aizawa gain confidence, seeing how good his quirk is and help him realize how capable he truly is. Unfortunately, in the summer of their second year, once things had started to change for the better, Shirakumo passed away in a villain attack while saving some children and their teacher. He went out as a hero, but left Aizawa to by himself take out said villain. Seriously, if you're not familiar with the full story, do check out that video. It's one of the best backstories in the series, a very heartbreaking story. Now, Aizawa of course went on to graduate from UA and become a pro hero and later an instructor at the same school he graduated from. To him and surely everyone else, that was the end of Shirakumo, but that wouldn't be the case. We now know that Kurogiri from the League of Villains is in fact an abomination of some sort created using Shirakumo's body, a Nomu. The reveal of all this was pretty damn shocking because at least from what I know, there were little to no hints that this would be the case. The only thing I really know of is that Shirakumo means white cloud and Kurogiri means black fog. Beyond that, there was nothing else to grab at. Compare that to the whole Dabi Toya reveal, which was right in our face for about 3 years. It was shocking and the execution was amazing. Seeing Aizawa react to what had happened to his dear friend could make anyone choke up at least a little bit. For all this to happen, he was captured by Gran Torino and taken to Tartarus, where the interrogation took place. In prison, they realized he was in fact an Omu, created from Shirakumo, and he had the meeting with Aizawa. The emotional interrogation managed to connect with Shirakumo, who still resides inside Kurogiri, at least somewhere, leading to the hospital raid where the war arc began, and I suppose we should thank Shirakumo for giving us that great scene where Dr. Garaki was caught with his pants down by Endeavor. There were a few key things to take away from the whole debacle, but let's focus on the two most important pieces to this video. The first being that when pleading with Shirakumo, Aizawa said that they could still be heroes together, and then following the interrogation, when with Present Mike talking about the Nomu and the League of Villains, Aizawa was called by Mirio to help with Eri. Her powers were acting up, the horn was glowing and growing. Aizawa was able to comfort her and help with the situation. To see this happen so soon after the interrogation says a lot. I believe it to be foreshadowing. And if that's not enough, again shortly after those scenes we saw Aizawa announce to All Might that during the same week he would begin her quirk training. The timing of all this and the words of Aizawa line up too well for this to be ignored. Realistically, it wouldn't make sense to reveal Kurogiri's identity as Shirakumo just for the sake of him uttering a single word to find the doctor's location. I can't imagine Aizawa was put through all that for that to be the end of Shirakumo. At the moment, Kurogiri is at Tartarus and it just doesn't seem right for him to end there. There is the potential prison break arc, but with how beaten the League of Villains are right now and the heroes as well, that won't be happening anytime soon. In one of the more recent chapters, we saw the first miracle of Eri's quirk, rewinding Mirio back to a time when he had his quirk. Her training has been going well clearly, and there are a whole list of potential things she could do now. We have Deku, who will be in desperate need after the war, Mirko, whose hero career is in jeopardy, Aizawa, whose career is also in jeopardy, and a bunch of other injured heroes. Eri's quirk requires time to store up energy, and while we don't know the specifics of that yet, I imagine some things on that list of priorities will have to wait. Assuming she can't do several significant rewinds back to back, Shirakumo will have to wait a little while after the war, But when the time does come, whether through Aizawa telling her or someone else slipping up, she will want to help his friend Shirakumo. It is a bit hard to imagine Eri in Tartarus, but Kurogiri is one of the least terrifying villains to be around, so with that in mind, it wouldn't be too hard to imagine her going there. Either way, she will have to go to Kurogiri somehow. Where that takes place isn't all that important. Shirakumo passed away in his second year at UA, and coincidentally, Midoriya and the rest of the cast should now be in their second year, making it even more plausible for Shirakumo to return and pick up right where he left off at UA. This would feel a bit weird because his friends are now adults. Look at Present Mike, Midnight, and Aizawa, but really in a year's time he can go on pro and enter the adult world. At UA, he would essentially be the transfer student, a fresh face among the now class 2A, the same class number he was in when he passed away. Aizawa is already somewhat responsible for Eri and Shinso to a lesser degree, so to see him look over yet another character would be pretty interesting and certainly add to his reputation in the community. Shirakumo's personality was pretty appealing, similar to that of Kaminari, so I imagine he'd join right in with that bunch, assuming he's placed in class 1A, not class 1B. After all, Shinso is also a student that might join 1A, or I guess 2A, so it remains to be seen where these characters will both end up. It would be nice to get more insider info on the league, but Kurogiri is programmed not to talk, and it's hard to imagine Aizawa and Present Mike breaking through to him again without a similar thing happening. And once his body is rewound back to Shirakumo, those memories of being in the League of Villains, of being Kurogiri, will be gone. With this miracle though, Eri will have done two things to drastically change the course of the future, making it really clear how powerful her abilities are. They literally shape reality. Would these two developments together make you happy, or would you have preferred to see Mirio stay quirkless and Shirakumo stay as Kurogiri? Personally, I feel these two things would lead to a lot of fun and overall great moments, so I have no complaints. I do worry about the quirk lessening the stakes of battles however, and that is something we've talked about extensively. The contents of this theory aren't exactly brand new because these scenes of course happened some time ago. However, now that Eri's abilities have been trained and Mirio has returned, this could be right around the corner. A part of me even wonders if it's already happened without us knowing, similar to how Mirio simply showed up suddenly and we were given a flashback. However, due to the timing and nature of the last flashback, I don't really think that's likely. So what do you guys think? Is this the fate of Shirakumo, or is this story over? Kurogiri is alive, meaning Eri's quirk can work on him. However, this organic life was once dead. I'm leaning towards it being possible Shirakumo returns though. He seems like a great character and we didn't get enough of him in the Vigilante backstory, at least not in my opinion. But yeah, share your thoughts below as usual. If you enjoyed the video, do be sure to drop a like and subscribe to Plot Armor with notifications on to never miss an upload. We upload almost daily and would love to have you join our discussions. And if you'd like to support us further, do check out our Patreon link in the description. Until next time, keep that plot armor on you. I'm KJ, have a great day. Goodbye.